Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. All right, I am going to finish up this PSA reveal that I started the other day. The audio sounded fine, so that's why I stopped halfway through. I just didn't want to keep going if I was not set up correctly or anything like that. So we're going to finish this, and then I'm going to look at recap the last weekly auction, my watch list from that, all the cards I was looking at, talk about those. And yeah, I think that will be it for today. I want to start a new show. I might do it like with this recording here. So we'll see if that ends up being what I think it's going to be. Just big picture wise, I just want to do a big, more like all encompassing type hobby show, recapping a lot of activity, a lot of strategy, and all that kind of thing. So I've got a title in mind. You might see that next to this one if I end up going that route. So, but yeah, for today, let's just look at some more cards I got back from PSA here. The 56 Elvis, number 21. I think it's pretty debatable between card number 1 and card number 21 in terms of what is the best card in the set. I kind of skew towards card number 1, but I think I like this one a little bit better. The portrait image, just so classic. This is a really nice looking PSA 4 here. There's a little couple print defects there in the hair, some green ink that got in there, but this is a really clean looking copy. Like I've said before with these, the big thing I look for is the guitar. A lot of times you'll get these white dots in there and it's really unattractive, but this is a really sharp looking copy. So I already have this. I have lots of these I've got 2 8s, SGC7 that are all beautiful. I think I have one of the 8s listed on eBay now, so I'm probably going to sell this one as well, but yeah, it's a good looking card in the case. So a little bit of a print dot there, fisheye in between the numbers on 21, which is too bad, but we'll get that one up on eBay here probably tomorrow. So we got that. Okay, next card in this submission. This one they didn't grade, so number 46, minimum size issue, I guess. So who knows on that? I'll have to take a look when I get those back in hand. The next card, number 50, from the 56 Elvis set. This is one of my favorite cards in the set, and one of the lesser sort of, people tend to think about card number 1 and card number 21 the most, but number 33, a show for the hometown. This is from the Tupelo Homecoming Show, a big concert, a big performance for Elvis. This would have been in between, I think this would have been in between Sullivan performances, maybe in between the first and the second. The first time he went on Ed Sullivan, I want to say, was in like September of 56, and Ed Sullivan wasn't actually there. Ed Sullivan had been in a car accident, and the show was being hosted by what was his name? I can't remember now, but a British gentleman, famous at the time, but was like remotely hosting the show. And Elvis actually performed at a studio in Los Angeles, I believe, instead of actually going to the Ed Sullivan show in New York. Because on that first performance in September, he says, Mr. Sullivan, I know you're out there watching. We'll see you in October. So I think this Tupelo show, it was at the fairgrounds in Tupelo, Mississippi, which was where Elvis was born and lived for the first, 12 years of his life or whatever it was. I think he went back there. I'll have to double check, but I think he went back sometime in the late summer, early fall, and then would have went again on Sullivan again in October, and then his last appearance on Ed Sullivan was in January. So three there, but this was a big moment, and that's a great image too, because you can really see you got the classic sort of Elvis hair there with the old school looking mic, doing his move with the hand out there. crowd fired up. You got this girl sitting on somebody's shoulders, just a sea of people there. And you can actually watch a video of this on YouTube if you just type in Elvis Tupelo show. There's a pretty good recording of this. It's all in black and white, but the Jordanaires, the backup singers, are standing on stage there. You've got, he does, plays the hits. He plays Don't Be Cruel, Heartbreak Hotel, Hound Dog. Can't remember if he did Love Me Tender or not, but yeah, it's awesome. It's really, really cool to see. At one point, there's this girl that just rushes up on the stage, and the host or whatever, and the police kind of escort her off, but it didn't really seem to faze him too much. But yeah, and that's a very, very famous photograph as well, in black and white. It looks like they kind of just colorized it for this, but yeah, this is probably my third favorite card in the set, I would say, the Tupelo show. So that's a cool one there, a little Elvis history for you if you're not familiar with the context. Okay, but saying PSA 6 too, really nice grade. Look at the back, but yeah, so this stuff is not really relevant to the front of the card. It just kind of asks questions. Like here they're asking, what would you do with your money? I'm so wrapped up with living in the present, I don't have too much time to plan that far ahead. When I bought mom and dad that house in Memphis, I was real proud, but you really don't need money to make folks happy. Just kindness and thoughtfulness in return is payment enough. I don't know if these are actually his answers or not. I guess assume so. I don't know if they would just make up stuff like that, but I don't know. Anyway. All right. Next up, let's go to the Beatles, 64. So this is 8 years later. The Beatles black and white. This is the third series. The higher series, I think, tend to be a little bit more rare, a little bit harder to find. And we got this in a beautiful PSA 8. I like these cards when they're like kind of in front of the plane, just because I feel like that's so synonymous with that time period of Beatlemania, the British invasion, them getting off the runway and whatever, and all kind of posing there with the Pan Am bags and all that kind of stuff. And here you've got Paul. You got the facsimile signature there for Paul McCartney. George Harrison. I love George. Ringo. And then, of course, John Lennon over here on the right. So yeah, I like this card a lot. Again, the third series, a little bit harder to find. Let's check the population on this one. I can't imagine it's actually 26, so that's pretty wild. So not like a super expensive card, but 31 higher. Let's take a look at the pop report on this one. Kind of curious. Let's see here. What number was that? 123. So I guess you can kind of look at this too. So the Beatles black and white set. There's maybe I'll do a full video on this another time, but there's 3 different kind of sets. Well, a few different ones actually. There's the ABC gum set. And they're all using the same images, but the ABC set was from Great Britain. I tend to think of that one as sort of the best, or the first one. Then you had the Topps set, the Topps Beatles color set, the Topps Beatles black and white set. Those are the 2 kind of American versions. And then you had the O-Pee-Chee, which we'll get into here in a minute. Those are more rare. Those would be from Canada. But yeah, a lot of the cards are just group images, but they just have one of the Beatles' names. So like here, this says George Harrison, but that's actually a card of all 4 of the Beatles. You can see there, but like even that one, card number 1, there's only been 73 graded. And if we go down to my card here, number 123, Paul McCartney, 3rd series. That card's been graded 68 times, so 2 10s, 28 9s, so 26 8s. So yeah, this stuff exists out there in pretty minty condition. You can definitely find it, but still pretty low pop overall. It is interesting to kind of look at which cards have been graded the most. Like I have no idea. That must be like kind of an iconic looking Ringo there to be graded 142 times. Yeah, so, but most of these are anywhere from 25 to sort of 50, 60-ish, 75 on the higher side. So that there. All right, so let's look at our next card here. Now this is the O-Pee-Chee set here, and we've got John Lennon So I really like this one a lot. Number 7. So this is a solo card, which is very nice. PSA 8, so very good grade on that one. Let's take a look here. Very nice card. Really happy about this. Really happy about this one. So I love that look of John Lennon. That 60s sort of black and white. The signature's in blue, which I think is kind of cool. Again, this is the Canadian version, so you'll see they're printed in Canada on the back, blank backs. Let's take a look at the pop on this one. Pop 6 with none higher. That's super cool. Now you'll see here the O-Pee-Chee versions are graded in much lower numbers. So in comparison to those US versions we just looked at, the George Harrison had like 70 some copies graded. These were all sort of in the 70s, and here you can see like 4, 10, 11. This John Lennon has only been graded 12 times. 6 in PSA 8, no 9s. So that's the highest graded copy, which is very cool. If I go down here and look at the 3rd series, so that other card I just showed, the O-Pee-Chee version of that, has only been graded 7 times with no 9s and no 10s, where the 8 I just showed you in the American version, the Topps version, had been graded with like 26 times, so way more common. So the O-Pee-Chee is definitely more rare for sure. So that's pretty cool. All right, so we've got that John Lennon. Let's go back over here. I just want to close a few tabs up here. Okay. All right, what do we got next? I just threw a Travolta in here. I'm just going to sell this, hoping the highest I've been able to get on this card is an 8. I got another 8 here. So I'm really looking for a 9 or a 10 on one of these. I thought this one was sharp. I thought it had a chance at a 9 maybe. It's off-centered, but who knows. I thought maybe I'd get a nice grader. But yeah, I'll sell that one for sure. Again, I've got multiple. I've gotten probably 8s like 3 or 4 times on this card now. It's a pop 8. I've probably contributed most of those. Let's see though. Curious. So number 9. So no 10s, 3 9s. I've probably graded 3 of the 8s. So yeah, that one will be for sale soon here. Okay, let's go back here. Our next card. So these I was a little disappointed in. The 1964 Estrellas design. These cards are very cool, but I don't like oversized cases. I've just never been a fan of that. These are rare. They are hard to find. It's like paper thin, very thin cards, like actually just like magazine paper, which I'm also not crazy about. But the imagery on these is just very impressive. Like that's a beautiful, beautiful looking card there. But I think with all those factors combined, the oversized case, I'm just probably going to sell these. It might be hard to sell just because they are, like, I mean, to the right person, I think I'll be able to. But just finding that buyer could be a challenge. You got George there in a 2. Pop 1, none higher. I mean, I know these fit in the regular size cases too, just barely, because there's some on eBay from this set in regular size holders. So I was really hoping that they would put them in regular cases, and if they had, I'd probably consider keeping them. But I don't know. Here we got Paul in a 3, and who knows? I guess I've never really held the oversized PSA case, so maybe it won't bother me as much as I think it will. But we'll see. Once I get them in hand, you got Paul there in a 3. It's very cool. This is John in a 3. And if I sell one of them, I'm going to have to sell all of them. I mean, just either keep all of them or sell all of them. So there's John, Pop 1, John Lennon, very cool. And then Ringo actually got a pretty nice grade, and this was pretty impressive. Like I said, this is paper thin. Like imagine just a page of a magazine and it's that thin. So they're very, very delicate cards. And Ringo got a 6 here, so that's pretty wild. And that is a very cool looking card there. So I'll throw those up on eBay. I'm going to price them anywhere from like 125 to 150, 175 maybe. I don't know. That's just a shot in the dark. Who knows? Somebody will probably offer me like $20 or something, but I don't know. We'll see. All right, and then this John Lennon's pretty interesting here. 1971 Editorial Bruguera. This is a Spanish set. I believe. Maybe it's Italian. I think it's Spanish. Hand-cut card. Pretty cool. There's a lot of different celebrities in this. If you go look it up. All the Beatles are in it, but I thought this John Lennon was pretty sharp. We got a PSA 3 here. These are also very, very thin. This definitely looks like 70s sort of John Lennon. On the back here, Super Chromos. Okay. So, yeah. Probably leaning towards selling this one. I don't know. I do like it. I'll see it kind of what it looks like in hand and how I feel about it, but kind of I don't think I'm going to really collect any more from this set or anything, so I'm leaning towards a sale on that one, but we'll see. Population, there's 2 graded in 3 and 1 higher, so I guess I can show you some of the other people in the set here. Take a look. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I mean, Barbra Streisand, Frankenstein, John Wayne, Cassius Clay, Marilyn Monroe, Ringo. So Marilyn Monroe's had 20 graded, Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay 26, Pele, Sinatra, Paul McCartney's only had 4 graded, Einstein, JFK, Elvis has had 7 graded. So I don't know, maybe if I had like the Elvis or something to pair with it. John Lennon's only had 8 graded, so we'll see. I'll put it up on eBay, and if I feel like the offer's right, I'll let it go. It's not a card I'm super attached to, but not one I'd be super bummed out about holding on to. Okay, and then we got 1 card left. This is the 1960 Leaf confectionery set. This is Sophia Loren. Now these are bigger cards, and I was also concerned about this actually fitting in the case, but because I felt like this was about the same size as those Estrellas Beatles cards, but this one worked out no problem. We got the 5 on that, which is pretty nice. These are pretty high quality cards. The card stock seems like pretty nice from what I remember. Yeah, so just really sharp stuff. There's some pretty cool celebrities and film stars in this set with really good imagery, beautiful colors, big images, and yeah, just really nice. So PSI 5 on that. I'm pretty happy. Let's take a look at the population and see if this has been graded before. So this is a Pop 2 with 2 higher. I'll show you some of the other people in this set, see who's been graded the most. That's always interesting to me. So you got Liz Taylor in there, who's been graded 8 times, Elvis 8 times. I think I have the Elvis, I can't remember. Oh, there's multiple Elvises, okay. Sophia, 4 copies, so there's been 1 8, it looks like. Otherwise, it's a lot of, John Wayne, 15 graded, Elvis, 13 graded, Marlon Brando, 11, Audrey Hepburn, 15. So, some big names for sure. So, all right, so that closes out the PSA order. Again, all in all, I'm really happy with this. Just a quick review. So, how many of these cards am I going to sell? I'm going to sell that one. I'm going to list that one. I'm on the fence about it. That's a coin flip. Keep that one. This is a coin flip. The Monroe. That's coin flip-ish. That's a definite keep. That's a coin flip. That's a keep. Sell. Keep. Although I do have more copies of this, so if I get one graded higher, I will sell that one. Probably keeping that one just because I don't think I could sell it for that much, and I think it's a special card. Keeping this one for sure, really stoked on that. Selling that one for sure, have multiples. Gonna list all these, and if I sell one, I'm gonna sell them all. Coin flip, leaning towards sell, and keeping that one. So, all right, so that's the rest of the PSA return. Now let's do a quick recap here on the most recent auction. I think it's interesting to look back and see what stuff sold for and see why I did or didn't bid. And all this stuff on Fanatics Weekly lately, I feel like it's just been going way too high. I don't know why. I mean, I know the market's hot or whatever, I guess, but still, like a lot of these prices, just I'm not seeing a lot of value here, but it's still fun to look at. All right, so I've got this sorted from highest to lowest, so we'll start here, and this was my watch list from just this last Sunday night. The Montana 9.5, I mean, I assume that's pretty low pop, whatever. I was just curious. That was just a curiosity, $9,000. This Trout, so this is interesting. $5,000. I mean, yeah, it's a superfractor, obviously. But man, like, shout out to Shane. You should feel pretty happy about that 23 Judge Super. I have the only base Topps Chrome base superfractor I have is the Mookie from 2023, and I think I paid about $900 some for it. I have the image variation for Lindor, which was probably also just under $1,000. Obviously, I think Trout is probably more expensive than both those guys, but man, this kind of stuff, I am getting concerned that it's just pretty much out of play at this point. I just sold the red wave of this card for like, I don't even remember, like $250, $300, something like that. So, yeah, I mean, on a red, like a true red, I'd want to pay like around like 400, maybe $450, $500. So 10x on the superfractor, like this to me is a card that I would want to pay like $1,600 for, and that's probably just me being risk averse. But yeah, I mean, it's an incredible card, but man, $5,000, we're really getting up there. So I don't know if it's just heat of the moment or whatever, but congrats to anybody that got that card. It's amazing, and if I could, play around in that sort of territory, I would definitely. I think it's well worth it. It's probably my favorite card in this auction. So yeah, we got the Gowdy Garrick here. This made me think of Dylan over there at Double D. I know he just got one of these recently, a beautiful example. So I saw this and I thought I was just kind of curious on it. $3,000 seems pretty reasonable for a card like that. But having said that, I mean, I would rather pay $5,000 for this than $3,000 for that. I wouldn't pay either of those prices for either of those cards, but yeah, I mean, if I was forced to choose. So then we get down here to the Mantle SGC4. That's an iconic card, a card I would love to own, but not it. That's a lot, and yeah. So again, I would pay for that Trout before I'd buy that Mantle. The Unitas, that seems like a pretty relative value, reasonably speaking. You could have Johnny Unitas' rookie card for less than you could have the 56 Mantle in a PSA 7. Not that really matters that much. Then you got the Bart Starr there. So you got Jim Brown, 1400. This cool Titanic card. This is one of those non-sport cards that it is just very expensive. Yeah, so cool art on this one, obviously iconic. So yeah, I was just, again, more of a curiosity. I was kind of wanted to see what it would sell for, but it's a beautiful, beautiful card. So yeah, I can see why this is one of those that just is, it is what it is, sort of expensive. So Coco. Yeah, definitely not interested at anywhere close to that price. Okay, Marvin Harrison PMG. I don't even know why I watch these. I just usually whenever I see any 90s stuff, I just ignore it just because I know it's going to be expensive. But I like Marvin, Colts fan, so I was just curious. Ernie Banks, the 54. This is a card I've always wanted. I would like to get like a nice one for like $450 or something like that eventually, but just always kind of add those to the watch list to keep a pulse on that market. You got the Skeens Black Sapphire. Really bummed that they changed from the purple to the black. The purple used to be out of 10, and now it's the black out of 10. The blacks don't hit like the purples do, I'm sorry, but this one does. Just the color match of it is very, very cool. So, yeah, 1100 might not be the worst, I don't know. It seems ball reasonable-ish, I guess. I don't know. I mean, if I was going to spend $1,000 on a card, it wouldn't be that, but to each their own, and it's definitely a nice Paul Skeens card. This is wild, so almost $1,000 for PSA 10 Ohtani Pink. That is my favorite Ohtani rookie card image, though. I've always loved that one. I used to have that in an 8, I think. So, but yep. Willie Mays PSA 4. Yeah, just whatever. Very, very nice, but just expensive. Love this. This might be my favorite Willie Mays card from the 50s, the 58. That seems kind of okay. I mean, I'd rather try to get something for a few $100s, but that's a really, nice. You got the Nolan Ryan there, the Hank. Love that. It's a beautiful card. This is wild. So this is the problem with Ohtani right now. It's just like all of his parallels are expensive in the base, flagship sets, in the Dodgers stuff. I've been focusing more on his Angels cards just because, who wants to pay $500 for an orange refractor from 2024? I mean, I know it's Ohtani, but it's just tough to stomach those prices, man. The Montana, you can get one of these pretty much any day of the week, but it's still wild to me that card is a PSA 8 Joe Montana rookie card is under $500. I do wonder, just being unlicensed, I guess, that's always kind of bothered me. If that helmet had a 49er logo, this could be, a different story. But yeah, that is a card I would really like to own. But I think the fact of knowing I can just get like a 7 or a 6 or whatever for a couple $100 any day, whenever, it just really, there's no urgency there. The Gilded Ohtani, again, expensive. The 63 Mantle, probably one of my favorite cards of his from the 60s. That doesn't seem terrible. I mean, like $400 for a nice looking copy there. That's something, if I was a little more flush with cash, I might consider. Same with the Hank. That looks like a nice copy without actually going in and looking it over too meticulously. I mean, see, those are getting into sort of reasonable territory here. Same with this. I mean, I'm sure this one's got a gnarly something or other on it. Let's see. Not too bad. Just rounded corners. I mean, I guess I could really go over it with a fine-tooth comb, but it's actually not a bad-looking one, just from this vantage point. Then the Ohtani Orange Sapphire. So I'll let you know a secret if you're still this far into the video. I actually just picked this up in a gold not too long ago. And I paid more than that, and the gold's obviously out of 50. I paid, I think, $475, which I know felt like very high. I had just kind of been kicking the can down the road on that card after release. It's the one I really wanted the most. I like this image a lot better than the Chrome base set image. This is the one that's on like his flagship top set, like the paper card. So I don't know why they didn't just use that on this one too, but whatever. So yeah, I've got that card at PSA right now. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I reached for it, but it's the only Dodgers Ohtani card that I have, and I just really wanted to get one, and it is what it is. So the Hank 59, nice card. The Alonso Independence Day went for $300. It seemed a little bit more than I would have expected, but it's his rookie card. I mean, he just set the Mets record for home runs, so he's kind of topical, I guess. I've never cared that much for the 59 Mantle. That's a nice looking copy, but yeah, the 58 is beautiful. 57's okay. 56 is iconic. Anything below that's just super expensive. So the 59's always been sort of my one that I'm not super stoked on. Love this Nolan Ryan card. I want to get one of these eventually. There's that 63 again. I really like that card. That one's kind of top of mind for me. Not anything I'm going to buy like this week or next week or this month or anything, but just down the road maybe. Same thing with that. These are really shiny, really nice cards. Just threw that as a curiosity. The Maris, shout out Shane on that one. I know you like that card. The Ohtani Blue, those are always cool. Again, here we go with the Montana, like I was talking about earlier. Just, I mean, I know it's just like $150. It's just too available, and but it seems like it should be way more than that. So The Ernie Banks 58 tops, beautiful card in a 6 for $156. That seems like one of the better values that I've seen here so far. The Willie Mays, pretty nice. Looks like probably a crease there or something, but that seems pretty reasonable for that card. This Bryce Harper, too bad it's out of 250. Otherwise, that would have been a nice purchase, or a nice card to chase down. Willie Mays, again, that seems like really nice. $85 for the 2.5. Musial, again, very nice 6. That seems like a pretty good value. A-Rod Platinum Medallion. This is the only card I got close to bidding on. I probably should have. $48. I mean, that's a nice looking card, right? Willie Mays. It's not the best image of him or anything, but it's a nice, just clean card. 61 tops, nicely centered, and $50. I mean, so there's ways in vintage. I think it's just, for me, it always comes down to, mostly with vintage baseball, what it comes down to is what I could buy in vintage non-sport, and that sort of value teeter-totter really just skews heavily towards the non-sport stuff for me. I think of the, Elvis, Marilyn Monroe, Marlon Brando cards I could buy, even if just raw, for $10, $15, $20, $30. And I think this is a really nice card, but it would be just a bit random, even at such a low price point, just to add that card right now. It just wouldn't make sense for me. So that's why I didn't bid. But I think that was the best overall value in the auction for me. If I had to pick like one, it would have been that card. So yeah, I think we'll call it a day there. Again, I would like to start packaging this kind of stuff into just more of a ongoing show. So we'll see what happens. I've got a title in mind. So yeah, we'll call it there. And I appreciate you hanging out and just looking at some cards. So take it easy, everybody.